Hi there, and welcome to my review for Bad Genius. I knew nothing about this movie, at all. I basically was at a film festival, and I had a few hours sort of just in between two films, and I was like, well, what's on? And there was a film called Bad Genius, and I thought, well, I've heard it did one in Thailand, I heard it had some good buzz. I don't know what it is, but okay, so I went along and I went to see it, and I knew nothing, I was totally blind, and I knew something about exams, maybe? Whatever. Turn up, went to the cinema, thought, no clue what this is, and it blew me away, and I thought, oh wait, actually, this is one of the best films of the year. I don't know why I hadn't heard of this before, really. And that's kind of why I really need to make this review in particular. Some of my reviews, whatever, this one, I really need to get out there, because I was kind of surprised at how good it was. And that's kind of the best feeling to have, I suppose, is to something you weren't expecting to be good, and it to be good is kind of the best feeling. So basically the premise follows a bunch of students in Thailand. There's this girl, and she's very smart, she's a genius, right? She's the titular bad genius. And she, throughout school, helps her friends who aren't very smart get good grades by cheating in exams and by telling them the answers. And they decide to pull off a huge sort of heist where they steal the answers to an exam that's needed for them to get into universities in America. So they do the exam in one country, and then they have to get the answers to the people in Thailand for the exam. That's the setup, right? I've never considered this film to be something which I thought would like blow my mind. But what really struck me was I've never seen exams be cinematic before. But this film is so cinematic. Like, so much of the film is people sat in an exam hall answering questions. But it's really, really, really cinematic. The film really knows how to make every single scene of exams full of tension. It's full of fast cuts, fast edits. It keeps a sense of perspective and scale. You know what everybody is, you know who's doing what, you know why they're doing it. It really makes them really work, and in a way that you couldn't get from reading it down. You have to see how they make the exam cinematic to really get how well they do it. It's kind of like an Edgar Wright style stuff, but it has its own unique thing, particularly in the comedy. And the other thing that's really surprising to me about it was that I didn't know it was going to be a comedy. I thought it'd be a drama. And everyone in the theatre that I was in loved it. It went down a storm. I thought it was hilarious. It was full of laugh out loud moments. You know, laugh out loud moments plus a really sort of quirky and cool cinematic style that like it's knowingly sort of over the top. It is ridiculous. And that's kind of what's fun about it, is that it's just fun. It is undoubtedly the most fun I've had in the cinema in 2017, like by quite easily. So the film really kicks off, and it's funny, and the exams are cinematic, and you know you watch these people gradually do bigger and bigger schemes. Like, you know, like they start off just cheating in exams in school, and then it's a bigger exam, it's the final exam, and then it's the big exam, and they have to constantly sort of cheat to get the unintelligent characters to pass the exams. And it gets just increasingly ridiculous. And yet, there's something really compelling about it. And I think there's many reasons for that. I think the first reason why it's so compelling is genuinely that you really care about it. Like, it's really funny, and you really just want to have a good time with it. And I think the film invites you to have a good time with it. So there's no sense of seriousness. Like, it doesn't matter that when you really think about it, it's pretty dumb. The other thing I think is it's genuinely unpredictable. Like, I genuinely thought this sort of film would be, you know where it's going to go, but there's so many points where something would go wrong in a certain scenario, as always happens in these sort of movies. You know, you can't ever do a heist movie where something doesn't go wrong. But every time something went wrong in this movie, I was like, oh, I don't know how they could get out of it. And then they get out of it, and you go, oh yeah, no, that's actually a really clever way to get out of it. And usually when you have films that are about genius characters, Sherlock would be a good example here, you often end up going, but I actually sometimes get a lot of this stuff quicker than he does, and if he does get it, sometimes it's really dumb. Like, no, this isn't the case in Bad Genius. Not only are the geniuses ahead of the audience, when they do finally get it, you go, oh, that is actually really smart. So it's really clever, and it's really well constructed, it's really well scripted, and there's also an interesting dramatic element, which is that there's a lot of things about the way that wealth allows access to education. So the smarter characters are poor and they're doing it for the money, and the richer characters are doing it for the grade because they're rich but they're not clever. And so that whole dynamic is kind of explored, and there's some moments that really sort of dig into that, and those are some of the most effective dramatic moments. When the final heist kicks off, it's genuinely really tense. I was like pretty much shaking in the cinema, being like, oh my god, are they going to do it? You know, like, it's not perfect. There's definitely a sort of moralistic sort of angle that's kind of thrown at the end. If you're going to watch a heist movie, you want them to succeed at stealing stuff. That's why you watch a heist movie. It almost undermines it in a way, but it's kind of trivial. It's kind of like I get why it happens. I know I've just kind of raved about this, and it's flawed as fuck. It's the characters are not well set up. The whole angle about the wealth stuff doesn't pay off. It's a bit dumb, but it's dumb in the way that, like, okay, the whole thing's just a stupid idea. Like, the way they execute it is really smart, given that it's dumb. But it's really, really fun. That's the thing. It's fun. I enjoyed it so much. It was dramatic. It was suspenseful. It was comedic. It was genuinely cinematic. It wasn't a film that makes exams seem boring. It makes them seem very interesting. And it's just really exciting and really gripping. And, you know, I'm not going to call it a masterpiece, but I think Bad Genius is pretty obviously a great film. It's going to be up there, I think, as one of the funniest films of the year. I might not call it the best by any stretch, but I kind of think it's probably also going to be the most underrated film of the year. Like, no one's really talking about this. But it's a great film, and if you can find it, I really recommend it. Like, maybe I was biased in that I had an audience that really that I was with, and we all sort of collectively went, this is brilliant, this is fun. And I imagine if you watch it by yourself and the jokes don't really kick off, maybe you don't have the same experience. It's also possible that you maybe don't buy into the cleverness of it, or you don't buy into the moralistic side of it, which are fine, I understand that. I think it's a film that's full of mistakes, but every single mistake I instantly dismissed because of how fun it was. And so, although fun is never something you can solely allow to ignore all flaws, in this instance, I think the fun pretty much outweighs the flaws, and it's fun because of how well made it is. It's not fun trivially. It's fun because they put effort into getting the twists right, and they put effort into getting the comedy right, and they put effort into making it feel like something you want to watch and you want to be part of. So overall, I think Bad Genius is one of the hits of the year. I think it's really genius, really smart, it's really witty, it's really quick, it's really funny, and it flies by. Great film overall. If you like this review, which I hope, although I did just kind of rave, then please leave a like, and also you can subscribe because I'll post more of this shit at some point. Also follow me on Twitter or Letterboxd if you want to hear my opinions early, I guess, or see what I'm watching. Links in the description. And thanks for watching. That's a Bad Genius. Great film.